All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is college football week 2. We got a few plays to jump into in today's video. You can see right there, we're looking at a 3-1 recap from week number 1. We will take the winning positive week there. Utah -5.5, that cashes with ease. Georgia Tech kind of backdoor keeps it close, cashing that +7.5. Boise State and Washington over 58.5. We really didn't have to worry about. But LSU moneyline, our sole loss of the week. I'm turned off by LSU. The quarterback, the receivers, really not much I liked in that game, and you're not going to really catch me taking them in any big games anytime soon. I was really high on them. If you watched last week's video, obviously Jaden Daniels, some of the wide receivers, not so much anymore. In fact, if I could flip sides right now, I would totally be like, FSU is a better team, which obviously we're going to win bets after the game's over, right? But nonetheless, I do think that, at least taught us something, that just because you got the stars in college, it doesn't always matter. Sometimes it's the team and the scheme that is going to prevail. But we'll take a 3-1 week, right? If anyone, any sports bettor especially, is going to complain about a 3-1 week, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What do you expect, right? But yeah, we'll take a 3-1 week, and we'll jump into our picks for today. Before we do that, guys, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about OddsJam. First and foremost, you can get 7 days free with the link in the pinned comment. I'll also put it in the description, and you can get 25% off if you use code GUYBOSTON, GUYBOSTON. You can get 25% off your first month if you do choose to sign up. It is an awesome tool, guys. If you are looking for the best odds on any sort of play in the market, whether it's money line, point spread, total, first quarter, player props, you can use OddsJam Sportsbook screen and compare all sportsbooks and what they're offering for a line and value, and then compare it to what is best and the average odds, so you know that you're getting the best price. Why would you buy a car for 20 grand if you can go down the street to another dealership and buy it for 15 grand, guys? That's the type of thing OddsJam helps you do. They also have a fantasy optimizer if you are on Prize Picks, Underdog, those types of things, identifying all of the value that is on the board based on Prize Picks, lack thereof of updating lines and odds and that type of thing. They also have a positive EV, aka expected value tool, which is really cool. You can go through all of these. These all have expected value, which pretty much just says, okay, well, Connecticut +3.5 here, right? -110 on WinBet. The rest of the sportsbooks out there actually have this in the -140s, -130s. So you know that you are getting some value when go ahead and placing that at -110. And then they have the tool that I love, the Parlay Builder. Helps you algorithmically build a parlay, 2-leg parlay on FanDuel. Let's go down to college football. It'll be fun to kind of see if this does end up hitting here. Let's say minimum odds +200, best parlay, show me it. And we got, what do we got? We got Stanford over 19.5 team total with San Diego State over 17.5 team total for +256 over on FanDuel. Be very interesting to see if that does hit. But if you guys do want to check out OddsJam, use the link in the description or the pinned comment. Like I said, 25% off your first month if you use the code GUYBOSTON. And just by using that link in the description or pinned comment, you will end up getting a 7-day free trial. Pretty damn good deal to me. Now hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's jump into game number 1. We're looking at Tulane hosting Ole Miss here. In terms of breaking down the graphics, I can already see some people in the comments being like, what do those mean? The spread is indicating the home spread. So what is the home team in terms of spread? And then the total is the total. Okay, so Ole Miss in this one, -6.5. Tulane is at +6.5. And our play is going to be taking a peek here at Ole Miss -6.5 as our final play. I think it's going to be an offensive shootout, an offensive game. Do I think it gets to 64.5? Maybe not. That is a high number, but I think it's going to be a predominantly offensive played game, and I like Ole Miss's chances in that one, beating their last opponent, albeit it was Mercer, but beating them by over 60 points. Tulane, I don't think they necessarily had as quality of a win, only beating their opponent by, 20 or so. But the thing that I love about Ole Miss covering the spread here is, one, they've done it in 3 straight games against Tulane. Last 3, they've absolutely smoked them. The lowest margin of victory was 14 points, so Ole Miss has the track record, and and Lane Kiffin obviously calling the shots here for Ole Miss. You know that he loves to pour it on. So if this is truly run and gun type game, or just a high scoring game in general, I think towards the end of the game, Ole Miss is going to have that stamina to kind of topple on a couple extra touchdowns and cover this one. So give me Ole Miss minus 6.5. Again, we're not really touching the total. I do think it's going to be a high scoring game, but for whatever reason, needing to score 65 points, so that over 64.5 is a little bit of a turnoff to me. So I'm sticking away from that, but give me Ole Miss minus the 6.5 points. Next game up, we're looking at Oregon traveling to Texas Tech here. Texas Tech underdogs at home, just like Tulane was, plus 6.5. Oregon minus 6.5. Road favorites here. The total way up there at 66.5. And my rationale and reasoning for this pick is very similar to what I just said. I think Oregon is just a way better offensive team, so we're looking at them minus 6.5 here. They scored 81 freaking points last week. I don't care if you're playing against a bunch of me's out there, right? Like, that is still impressive, and they have that momentum coming into this game. Now, Texas Tech, you could make the argument, well, they came out of last week losing to a team that they were double-digit favorites against, right? They lost them in double overtime. They're going to come out pissed off with a fire under their ass, out for revenge, seeking blood. I don't think so. I think they're going to be shell-shocked by the fact that they had a game in which they should have won by 2 touchdowns against Wyoming last week and lost that game in double overtime. They were super inconsistent, scoring 17 first quarter points and not touching any sort of point scoring until the fourth quarter, in which they kicked a field goal. So that is a team, to me, that is just not consistent whatsoever, and we are absolutely fading them. Whereas you have an Oregon team that, yes, they play, was it Portland State? Portland State. I get it. Not a good team, but 81 points is definitely a momentum builder. So give me the team that's feeling some momentum, having to win by a touchdown. I do think that they are just head and shoulders better than Texas Tech as well. But yeah, I just can't trust Texas Tech after not playing, a full 4 quarters. As cliche as that sounds, I'll take Oregon to win by a touchdown in this spot. And all the other plays that we have are also very similar in this sort of spread range, the 6.5, 7. So we kind of kept it in that range for this video. And these are all games that include a top 25 as well, if just wanted to make that one clear. But let's go ahead and continue on with our last few games here. Before we do that, guys, I did want to take a second to talk to you guys about Fade Me, our merch brand. If you do want to support what we're doing here over on the channel, you can go to fademe.store and pick up some really cool merch. If you don't know where Fade Me started, don't worry, I'll tell you really quickly. It pretty much started when we sunk our teeth into doing these videos and sports betting on social media. So many haters and so many know-it-alls out there were being like, your picks stink, you're a loser, blah, blah, blah. I can't really defend the loser thing, but what I would say is, okay, then fade me. And over time, we're winning more than we're losing, and the more times I tell someone to fade me, you look after the game, it's like, ha, 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 look who is laughing now. So we made a brand out of it. If you guys do want to support what we're doing, head over to fademe.store and pick up some merch. It's a great way to support. If you won some money following our picks last week, this is a great way to go ahead and support us. So check it out, guys, fademe.store. Tons of new products coming throughout the football season as well. And if you have any ideas, DM me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at EvGuyBoston, okay? If you have any ideas, we can try and make something work. But fademe.store, go check it out and support what we're doing here. All right, for game number 3 in today's video, we actually are looking at Wisconsin taking on Washington State. And we have 2 picks to get into in this game. So right now, similar spread range. Like I told you guys, Washington State underdogs at home plus 6.5. We like the flip side. I like Wisconsin minus 6.5 here. And I'll tell you why. I think that they're going to dominate the run game. And that's easier said than done, I guess. But there's really no run game there for Washington State. Like, they ran for 50 yards last week, something like that. They obviously went to the air more often than not, so they didn't even have that many attempts. But nonetheless, in college football, there is a serious thing to be considered for setting the tone and getting that edge, right? Wisconsin, we know they're going to rely on the ground game. Chez Melisi is going to be obviously the premier back there too. I do think that this is going to be a spot where Wisconsin says, all right, let's give him the rock. Let's run up the middle, smack you in the mouth. Next play, run up the middle, smack you in the mouth, like that 21 Jump Street thing where he's going like this to the ceiling. I think that this is going to be a game where Washington State just cannot even match the intensity or the grit, if you will, in this game. But I also like the under 58.5, and it lines up exactly what I'm saying. If this is going to be a one-sided affair, and I consider this to be a ground game type of a game, I think that this is a pretty safe under as well. Obviously, Wisconsin is the favorite here, but I could easily see them being, more of an 8.5 type favorite, keeping it out of that touchdown range. So I'm jumping at the bit at this. Give me them against Washington State. And yeah, so far we pretty much have the same play. We've taken a road favorite at -6.5 for all three of these, but we do have an under in there as well. So again, we like the under in this game. But let's go ahead and jump into our last game. I think it is one of the better names, if not the best game here on the slate for this week. We got Alabama taking on the Texas Longhorns, and I might get some crap for this because I'm just trusting what Alabama is. We know this Texas team is good, and they have the talent to beat Alabama, but I don't think they even sniff Alabama's jockstrap when it comes to the consistency part of things. And I think Alabama -7 is the play at home. The only thing that worries me about this is that all of our other picks are the favorite minus the touchdown pretty much, right? So now are we just like dipping into the same type of bet too much? But in terms of this game, yes, we saw Texas almost beat Alabama last year, right? Losing by, what was it, just 1 point? So, they have the talent, they have the ability to do it, but Alabama just has this track record. And if you can get them at a touchdown here, favored by a touchdown, I think it's worth pulling the trigger on. They're just kind of foolproof at this point. And what I mean by that is I really wouldn't bet against Alabama. And I really wanted to bet on this game, obviously, right? So as I'm looking into it, it just seemed more and more like it's right in my face. Alabama minus the touchdown with that push potential. Would I love this at 6.5? Sure. The line right now is 7. Maybe we pay a little bit of juice and get it at 6.5, but I'll take the home favorite here in front of the home stand, beating a really good team. But that's the type of team that Alabama just gets up for and gets excited for, right? So give me them on the money line. I'd love that too, but they're like -2 something. Give me them on the spread here, -7. In terms of the total, I didn't really figure out what I liked here whatsoever. Maybe I look at the over just because I do think that this is going to be a game that kind of gets off to the races pretty quickly, but that's not a final play. Give me Alabama -7. And guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We have tons of content coming out and coming down the line here for football. We're keeping up with baseball. We have a new football show with me and one of the other guys on the Guy Boston staff here. It's going to be crazy, a crazy September to say the least. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Probably the best thing you'll do all year, unless you do anything cool and better than that. But hey, it's still a good thing to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let me know what you guys are rolling with in the comments down below. Very interested to see. Saw some really good comments last week and some good calls, so I'm reading all of those. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys for this week. We got 4 games we're looking at, 5 plays in there, and yeah, let's go ahead and cash yet again. Good week 1. Let's not blow it in week 2, all right? We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.